Well, excuse me for living, but I'm working here, alright? Just a couple of videos. Oh boy, I'm having trouble seeing with these things. Let me take these off. Wow! We have just accomplished a miracle, people. A few videos ago, we were talking about the focus of this channel is being less on what I plan to go out and do and more Al's goofy ideas and digressions, and I'm always looking for more input on this. My job in this world is to raise kids and to make friends and to be friends with people who are going to make the world a better place. Passion, passion, passion. It requires passion. I'm passionate about this stuff. It's fun. Every day I'm doing something, I try something, and dude, hey, this would be cool. So, way early in this series, I gave you a bunch of information about Teslongs. I have had Hawkeyes. I have Hawkeyes. I got hundreds, thousands of dollars worth of Hawkeyes here and lighting systems and whatever for going inside and seeing what's going on inside of a gun. The Teslong, you can go in and see what's going on inside of a motor, if that matters to you. But for 50 bucks, I'm telling you, Teslong is cool. It's cool enough that I gave a few of them out. It's just like these little tools right here. This is a $50 tool from Harbor Freight. You set it up right, you grease this cable, and I've got them in different rooms. I've got, a number of years ago, one of my sweet daughters-in-law brought over a new idea. We're a big family. We're from big families. Christmas time comes around and it's like, man, you got to buy for all these people. Their family, my son married someone from a big family. And they have had that same problem. So they came up with something called Your Favorite Thing. All you do, you don't care about anybody else. You live your life passionately. You search for cool stuff, and at the end of the year, you pick your favorite thing, whether it's a loofah sponge or a bidet, and that's what you give as your Christmas gift for the other members. Well, a bidet would be kind of expensive, I guess. That just came off. I don't know why that came off the top of my head. But here, this is a $50 gift. That falls within the purview of what we're doing. Brothers and sisters, give your brother, it's boys against the girls, so obviously I don't have to go out and find candles or any kind of crap like that, but one year this was my favorite thing. So I bought one of these for everybody. Another year it was the Teslong borescope. Teslong borescopes were my favorite thing that year. I found so many things to do with it. Well, here's another one. This mess right here also got used as a favorite thing. This is those dental glasses I'm talking about. They allow old farts to do stuff. They allow anybody, normal people. This is how your dentist works on your teeth, because he can see your mouth is as big around his head. You can reach in and do things. So as I was wrapping up another video segment, I realized I've got another plan. The reason that the bit that was in this is because I mentioned that I'm going to take an old 721. A 721 is a long action precursor to the 700. Generally speaking, right now in my life, when I use a long action, I do some kind of a magnum out of it. The only exception is that I will do 300 WSMs and 338 WSMs on a short action, because I can put bullets that are so freaking big and they'll still go through the magazine. But generally speaking, I want my magnum bolt faces to be, my long actions to be magnum bolt faces. It's just where I am right now, what I'm building, what I'm experimenting with. And as I make these and sell them, if I can't present them to somebody comes and says, what have you got for a cool gun? If I truly, fervently, passionately believe that what I have is cool and I can pass that on to them, then we've managed to expand the coolness factor in the world. Now we've got two people excited about this thing. That's what I'm finding out this channel is really about, is sharing my passion for weird, good, cool, different stuff. I've mentioned before that I'm a fisherman, but I'm not just a fisherman. I get no pleasure from going out shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of people and flanging something at the water and hoping a fish is going to bite. I fish to make gut piles. I fish not for competition, not to win, but because I'm there to catch fish. Doesn't even have to be gut piles. I'll fish, catch, and release. But my competition, I'm a competitive guy. Love to lose, but when I lose, I love more to get beat than to lose. Love to get beat. I learned how to play pool by going out, putting up my quarter, which I only had one per day, and learning to stay on that table for a bunch of quarters and be able to play and play and play and play and play and learn to play. That's what makes me, I'm a man. I'm an American man. Been watching a lot of English TV shows lately, even new ones. We just watched something called Foyle's War. And oh, that was great. I really enjoyed Foyle's War because they're exploring actual... Well, let's not go there. Let's not go into the whole morality and where we're going as a country and what we've got. Just some of the concepts in Foyle's War were fascinating to me, but it was the human concepts. It was the passion exhibited. It was the fact that it didn't matter that you could get away with something. Were you doing the right thing? Morally, ethically, and with passion. So I'm finding out more and more as I get in. I'm constantly taking off down this rabbit trail. I've been doing this for 40 years. I just take down a different rabbit trail every day. One segment of the population thinks I'm insane. The other segment of the population thinks I just am lying out my butt. And other segments of the population, but in reality, this is what keeps me, my brain is going 1,000 miles an hour all the time, and I am not, I saw a sign on a truck today, and I'm going to put it on my truck. Sign on the back comes from some backpacking, outward bound expedition type. There's Sasquatches and beards all over this sign. Well, it's not that big, it's only a little sign, but and no bikes. But there was backpacks and Sasquatches and beards, I'm pretty sure. But the sign was pretty simple. It said, die with memories, not dreams. I think that's pretty awesome. So what this is about is making memories and trying stuff that may or may not work. In another video, I told you, I was showing the 721 action set. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I said, I'm going to make a drop port out of it. You can take these old things and make drop ports out of them. At the time I said that, I didn't know. I was kind of speaking out my hind end because I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But I had this stuff out, and I was doing some work on some muzzle brakes for another video, and I was doing some close work, and I had out my viewing device, and I was grinding. I have this hanging up here all the time, and I mentioned this thing that I've been gonna do, which is make a drop port out of a 721. Well, I got off the video, and I hung up the phone, and I went and done it. Check this out. Watch carefully, the parts are just sitting in here. This is a 721 action circa 1970, maybe? I don't know. Hogue over molded stock. This barrel, it's a 300 WSM, no, it's a 300 Hellbringer barrel on here that I was using in another video. I just came off a video where I'm showing these parts here. But it happens to be set up for Remingtons. I took this old 721, I ran it in, and I've got a 270 laying in there. I'm going to make this into probably a, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm playing with some 6.5s. I got a few thousand Don Lar and a few Cotteruccio. Some guy sold me 1,500 Cotteruccios. I've got a bunch of 6.5 stuff to try. But the point is, when I bought this action, I got it cheap. And I was going to take this old 721 action, and because I'm a redneck jerkwater, I was going to put it on a Kinsler railgun just to piss people off. Well, I got the railgun, and I realized this won't do what I want my railgun to do. So I ended up putting a good action on my rail, but that's neither here nor there. So this thing's been sitting around waiting for something to do, and it's a long action. It's not a Magnum bolt face, so it's a limited facility for me. I don't have any real interest in .06s and 270s right now in my life, just because life is short. Then you die. And I intend to have some experiences. I intend to die with some adventures in my belly. Not just ideas and dreams and sitting there on the couch thinking about this stuff. So, long story short, I got this thing. I done made a dropper out of it. Did you see that? This is so funny. It works. It works just fine. Because the extractor inside this beast is not pinned. I have a bunch of these extractors because I've done weird, I've played with timing before and made top throwers and side throwers. I had never done a drop port. I'm going to turn this into a drop port. I'm going to make it into something, and it might be a 6x47 Lapu. It might be, it's going to have a little bit of a long throw, but one of the things I'm finding now that I'm using a drop port is that it is possible in the heat of battle to chuck one through the bottom. This longer action will allow me to run the drop port back far enough that I can chuck stuff at the hole. Now, for all you normal people out there, all you people driving your Model S government welfare Cadillacs and worried about guarantees, anybody that has anything, I think I done voided the warranty on this Remington. So, I'm not going to show you a whole bunch about it. I'm not much on warranties. When a lady asks me, do you want to upgrade? I say, no. If it breaks, it's a piece of crap. I'll know not to buy another one. If it doesn't break, I'll come back and buy 5 more. Well, this is Remington. This is not a piece of crap. These extractors are awesome. I love Remington extractors. I know I'm one of 3 or 4 people on this planet that like Remington extractors, but I do. So, I did void the warranty, but just so that you all know, so that nobody tries this at home. No, I'm here to make you guys try stuff at home, alright? Be careful, obviously, but go out and do stuff. I lurked at this and I got on it with my fancy eyeballs and I peeked and I prayed and I sprayed. I peeked and I poked and I pecked and then I sprayed parts cleaner in there until I had a perfectly clean surfaces to look at. And I saw the way they had kept this extractor from rotating, and what they had done was stuck it in a fixture and peened it forevermore and mashed a couple of spots down so that the extractor could only rotate. It could rotate about 8 to 10 degrees of rotation before it was stopped, which allowed it to eject out the side where they wanted it. But it didn't allow it to come around and sit on the bottom where I wanted it. So I looked at various tooling and I finally decided to take this and just slot, just cut down. You can actually see, if you got really good eyes, or if I can get up here close enough, you might see where one of those slots runs. I don't care if you can see it or not. Those of you that can, will. Those of you that can't will continue to gobble around on the internet about things that you know nothing about. Those who can, do. Those who can't, teach. And a few of those who do also teach, and I'm one of those. Take an old bolt with a soft moving extractor inside that's not pinned, or rip one out and put one in one that's riveted. I don't care. Grind those little tabs off, which I did by coming in from the face. I said just a couple minutes ago that a lot of people call me a liar because I will claim to do stuff and I won't explain myself because A, there's no time, B, the person is too stupid to understand, or C, I just don't feel like it, or a host of other things. People might ask, you know, Here, I laid in bed last night, this idea came to me and I went, okay, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to pull the extractor out, I'm going to chuck it in a lathe. No, this is going to get in the way. So I went on the inner tube and I looked, and you got guys building big things and they're running these things on between centers and they're truing this up and they're going in with a specially ground bit and they're cutting that and they're open. I have opened up 2 Remingtons and 4 Savages to Magnum bolt face. I didn't want to do that on this. Said, you know what, because to make it useful, I could open it up to a Magnum bolt face. And I go through, I have a fixture for it. But it's a pain in the butt. It's cheaper to call Dave Kiff. I've got bolts in the pipeline with Dave Kiff right now for Remington actions that I've got here that are no good to me. And I get an 062 firing pin home. So I'm not saying that this is a good idea, but if you got an old bolt, you don't know what to do with it. And by the way, this dropper thing is not going to go in this stock. I mocked this up just so I could show you one time that thing dropping. But trust me, the bolt sits like this. I hook that in. It hangs upside down. This is the bolt over here. I come over the top. It falls right out. Oh, I got the angle wrong. I was wondering why it hung up. Because the bolt. Because I'm stupid. Some days, these things lock up on the vertical plane. What a dumb. So, that's why it didn't fall out as good the first time either. See, this is the difference though. See, I don't make any bones about that. I need to be really, really clear on that. I make no bones. I've used the phrase warts, feathers, and all, and there's a reason for that. Because like my grandpa done told me, if you ain't screwing up, you ain't trying hard enough. And I have done some enormously screwed up, stupid stuff. But I try stuff. And I learn from each one. And because of that, I'm just passing on some of this cool stuff. And I'm here to tell you, this is now, it's a proven enough concept that I'm going to put it together. I'm going to go chamber up a barrel for this silly thing. And I'm going to make something out of it. And I'll probably do something in a, shoot, I might do a 6.5 Creedmoor just because I can. Man, that's not even that far off. It would have almost worked if I hadn't done anything. Take out the ejector. Nah, it wouldn't have. It comes around too far. Wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have worked. It's all fine. I have it right. Trying to talk and chew gum at the same time is almost beyond my ken. I think what has happened here is, yes, I find it. Cool. Okay, what has happened is, when I ground this, one of the little nubs is still not allowing the extractor to get out of the way. So when it's right to the very bottom, it's tending to hang up. But it works. I need to do a little tiny bit more grinding in there. Remington 700, 721, 600, XP100, Remington sliding extractor. You can do this at home, people. You can take yourself a little Dremel tool, get yourself some eyeballs. I was telling you about my favorite things. The 3 things that I've given in different years for my favorite things for Christmas are this grinder that I have hanging up here, which you can't see right now. That set of eyes that I was just showing you. And the Teslong bore scope. $50 items. And I think everybody who's passionate about guns needs all 3 of these things. You need a couple of these grinders. That's these things right here. Mine happens to have a rheostat on it and a foot pedal, and I can rambledy-bambledy with my feet. So it's set up here, and I have them here. I have one out by the lathe. I have them in different places where for $50 plus a 19 for 20, you know, it's $70. I have a couple of them set up in different work areas because I use them that much. And I have several sets of these eyeballs. So I'm just telling you, you want to try something cool and you don't have a machine shop? Get yourself an old stock, open the bottom of it up. Get yourself an old gun for $150. Grind in here. But just remember, as I said, if you're one of these warranty people, if If you're one of these people that's going to whine and cry and grunt and say, but is it? No, it's not. Okay, there is absolutely zero, nothing legal, recommended, guaranteed, warranted. Would I do this for somebody else? Not unless you were my friend. If you're my friend, I do it for nothing. Hey, keep the passion alive, peeps. Get out there, do stuff. Die with experience, not with dreams.